Oh, no, again. It might be supposed that an immeasurable gulf separates those who espouse scientific racism and those who are avowedly anti-racist, and that there can be no common ground between the two factions. The reason that we think in this way is because both racists and anti-racists are determined to fight straw men, that is to say, fantastic, distorted and misleading versions of the doctrines to which they are convinced that they are bitterly opposed. This lack of knowledge of each other's actual beliefs makes constructive dialogue impossible. Let me illustrate this point by explaining one piece of common ground which neither side realise that they agree on. With few and exceedingly rare exceptions, the Sentinelese tribe living on a remote island in the Bay of Bengal being a well-known example, almost every human today has mixed ancestry and jumbled heritage. There are no pure races. Consider African Americans in the United States, who, judged solely on appearance, might appear to have a completely separate ancestry from their white neighbours. Looks can, according to the old proverb, be deceiving, and so it proves in this case. Between a fifth and a quarter of the genome of the average African American consists of genes inherited from Europeans. The search for wholly separate and distinct races or ethnicities, whether classified by physical appearance or geographical location, is a fool's errand. A personal anecdote may help to make this clearer. In the late summer of 1978, I caught the ferry from the Swedish port of Göteborg, Gothenburg, which took me to Frederikshavn, one of the northernmost towns in Denmark. Over the course of the next 2 months, I travelled south overland through the whole of Europe and into the Middle East. In Scandinavia, the people were generally pale and had fair hair and blue eyes. By the time I had travelled across Germany, Holland, Belgium, France, Italy, and what was then Yugoslavia, complexions and hair were both darker, and brown eyes more common than blue. As I moved from Greece to Turkey and then into the Arab countries of Syria and Jordan and on into Israel, black curly hair and very dark skins were the norm. I continued to the Sinai Peninsula, the northeast edge of Africa, where some of the Bedouin have skins as dark as Pakistanis. At no time during my journey across Europe was there any abrupt change in appearance of the people in neighbouring countries or territories. The Greeks at the Turkish border were indistinguishable from the Turks a matter of yards away. At the other end of Turkey, the Turkish men manning the border post looked precisely similar to the Arabs on the Syrian side of the border. Both in appearance and in genetic inheritance, these men were more or less identical. The difference between the Bedouin of the Sinai and the Danes in Scandinavia is a smooth and continuous gradient. Arabs are not a different race from Turks, any more than Turks are a different race from Greeks or Italians. All the so-called races and ethnicities which I came across blurred one into the other. Does all this mean that there are no differences in cognitive ability or temperament between Africans and Chinese, Europeans and Indians? It does not. It means, though, that instead of crude generalizations, we have to deal in statistical probabilities and percentages. We have to reject any racial prejudices and generalizations about people whose eyes and skin colour differ from our own. Nothing useful or true can be said about the intelligence or temperament of any individual person whom we encounter for the first time, whatever the colour of the skin, type of hair, or shape of eyes. We all know stupid white people and unintelligent Chinese people, just as most of us know very intelligent black people as well. We are talking only of probability among large groups. There now, this is a truth which may easily be acknowledged by the stoutest proponent of scientific racism and also the fiercest advocate of anti-racism. Neither party, however, realised that the opposing side agrees with them on this point, and so instead they maintain their traditional hostility to each other, which means that no real debate is possible and no honest search for truth will ever take place.